let's check how to use some of the key vocabulary from the text that you are listening to and reading. So we have this vocabulary here on the board. First, let's go through and just check the pronunciation. An issue, gossip, a source, a backlash, censorship, to air, an anchor, a paywall, newsworthy, a caption, a layout. All of these are very important for talking about news and media, and sometimes they have other uses as well. Let's check. First, an issue. So when we talk about an issue, it's a very important topic, a subject that people are talking about. The environment is a very important issue nowadays. So is education, for example, or unemployment. In the context of news and media, there's also another meaning for an issue. So here we can say, for example, this is an issue of informativo. So here we have this information. An issue is a particular edition of a magazine, for example. Next, gossip. Did you hear? Mary is pregnant and she doesn't know who the father is. Oh my God. This is a wonderful example of gossip. So something that usually people tell each other as a secret. But of course, in the media now, we can see a lot of celebrity gossip. We can see a lot of gossip, for example, around sport. There's a lot of gossip about which football players are going to move to other teams. So this information is not confirmed, but it often gets printed anyway, even if it's only gossip. Notice, by the way, this is an uncountable noun, so we never say gossip. We just say, oh, I heard some interesting gossip. Sources are really important. If you're a journalist, you need to get your information from a reliable place. So you need a good source. So it could be a politician, for example, who gives you the information, or maybe a person you talk to, but you need to know that your source, the origin of the information, is reliable. You need to know you can trust this source. A backlash is very common when we share very big or perhaps negative news. So sometimes we can see, for example, when a government announces there will be an increase in taxes, there's a huge public backlash. People get very angry about this. So here we can see a backlash often when these kinds of things are announced. Censorship is a very important thing in society. Of course, not everything is available in the news or in media, or we can't find all information all the time because some things are censored or they are stopped. Of course, sometimes censorship is a good thing. For example, when there's very violent images, for example, it's probably a good thing that censorship exists. But we often see censorship, for example, connected to far right or far left governments, where, for example, the government in North Korea will censor any news that is not convenient for them. We have the verb to air. So you can ask, what time is the football match airing tonight? To air is to show on television. Sometimes, for example, with the football match, this can be for a live event, but it can also be for a particular episode of a TV show. So people would ask, when is the next episode of House of the Dragon going to air? If you watch the news on TV, then you've seen an anchor giving you the news. This is the man in a nice tie, like me, who talks about the news sitting at a nice desk. The anchor, or we can say anchorman or anchor woman, is the person who reads the news on TV. Paywalls are becoming more and more common on the internet. So have you ever seen it when you go to a website and you see a story? This looks very interesting, but you click and you cannot see the story. It says, sorry, you need to pay or you need to be a member if you want to read the story. So this is a paywall, literally a wall that you cannot go past if you don't pay. Newsworthy is an incredibly important adjective. So this is something that decides whether or not something is worthy, something is appropriate, something is good to include in the news. So this is an important role, for example, of a newspaper editor to decide, oh yes, this particular story is newsworthy. Let's put this on the front page of the newspaper. Or maybe to say, oh no, this particular story, it's not very interesting, it's not newsworthy. Every time that you see a picture in a newspaper or in a magazine, you'll always see underneath it a caption. This is a small piece of text, a bit of information, usually about what the picture shows, who are the people in the pictures, and very important, of course, it also includes the photographer or the agency, the news agency, which gave this particular photo. Where did the picture come from? So this information, you can find it all in the caption. And finally, we have here a layout. Now, when you look at a newspaper or a magazine, it's not just text. No, there's a nice combination of images and words. Some words are very big, some words are kind of smaller. We have a lot of different things. So if we look again at this particular magazine, we can see some very nice layouts here with the way that all these pictures and the text is arranged. So here, for example, look, it's a beautiful layout here with this celluloid moving across here and the title here. So this is all about the layout. As you saw in the text, we can do a very nice layout nowadays just through Canva or even through PowerPoint or Word will often suggest these different layouts to us. But it's a very important thing because it's not just about the text or the pictures, but everything combining in the right kind of way. We can also use this, by the way, when we talk about offices, for example. In the office where I'm standing right now, there is a particular layout. So we have the board over here, we have tables and chairs, we have different things around the room. And so we can also describe this as the office layout. So here we have this very important, very useful vocabulary. Make sure you check the information, make sure you review and see that you understand everything 100% so you can talk about journalism and the media.